Hello. Welcome in. Welcome to Tablestory's Gone. It's first round table. I think this is really loud. Hang on. Let me turn this down. Is that good?
Oh, I do have a filter. What's going on there? I look good.
Yeah. I will send it to you. It is a lot.
Crazy. What's happening?
It's a lot.
I look great. I have acne all down here, so please keep that filter on. That's great.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, this is great. This is like a
terrible as well.
Which one? What Instagram filter is this? Like,
it's not.
If I swipe.
It's a.
This is the first one, dude.
It's a lot, but I will send it to you. It's my own editing that I copy pasted.
Whoa.
So sorry. Yeah. So we all have it on.
You?
Nothing. It's fine. I will send it to you after.
All right.
Hello.
All right.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. How are you guys doing?
This is just a tease, by the way.
Terrified. Yeah, I have no idea why we're here.
This is Brad. Okay, right when we joined the call, I was going into it like very innocent and like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. We're just gonna answer some questions. And Brad comes in, just doors banging down. He's like, what's going on here? I don't understand why we're here. It makes no sense. We're on episode 5. You don't do this. Why are we asking questions? This is gonna affect us in the game. Be ready. And I was like, oh my God, you're fucking right.
There's no way this is just an actual what it looks like round table live Q&A. There's no way.
Look at Bibi's face. I
no way.
have to watch your face for shit. When my camera's blocked out, I just watch her face. To see.
Yeah, me too.
But sometimes she doesn't give it away, and she does faces for things that don't matter. It's like, I like popcorn. She's like, and you're like, what the fuck does that mean?
But do you? Are you sure you like popcorn?
I don't know what my name is now.
Yourself?
There's only, I will say this. There's only one poker face that I failed miserably and I really regret, but nobody caught it. So we're good.
What do you mean nobody caught it?
I had a visual reaction
hours.
to something, and I was like, oh fuck, I should not have done that. But nobody said anything. So those of you who have noticed and not said anything, thank you. I appreciate it.
What episode?
Nobody called it out. That's all. Yeah, I knew it. I knew you would probably one of them, Trance, that caught it and then just didn't say anything. So I knew it. They're too good. Well, should we get started? We have a million questions and only like an hour to go over them all. So if you have a question for anybody here, you can just type !Q in the chat and then a
D&D
space
related.
and then your question.
What's your favorite Rocket League card, John?
The Tesla.
We will do our best to answer it. We will do our very best to answer it. So I'm just going to dive right in. This first question is pretty intense. I would like to ask John particularly what Rocket League... No, I'm kidding. Regarding his theory of the campaign after he experienced the last part of episode 4.
Ooh, say it again. Sorry.
What is your theory of the campaign after you experienced the last part of episode 4?
Which was 2 weeks ago?
That was the last episode. The very last episode.
Last
week,
yeah.
What's
what
your
is my theory on everything?
Yeah, and I should preface this by saying you can answer as little or as much as you like. It's totally up to you guys as players what you want to disclose here.
Whatever it does, it will affect your character in the game tomorrow. So.
No.
Do you think this is me? He said John, right? Not,
yes, John particularly. What do you think?
Okay, so here's what I think's going on.
Okay.
I think I have a pretty good. Last episode I figured out a lot, in my opinion. We figured out whatever you think of, like happens. It's kind of like a dream world state. I'm leaning less towards being on like the Truman Show. As far as like just my thoughts, because usually Dex's thoughts are my thoughts, but I'm just trying to play them in the character. I really believe, I definitely think it's some sort of Matrix thing now. I think I'm in some sort of tub of water, but I feel like, and this is not, I don't want to be offensive to PB, but I feel like that's too easy to just be like in a Matrix pool and like serving.
This is my fear with it as well. Every theory I come up with, I'm like, it's kind of too obvious.
It's too obvious, and I just like, so I'm like, for now, I just think. But here's what I'm worried about. Here's what I'm truly worried about. I'm worried about that every time I do one of these powers, like I want $20. I want that I'm like killing someone on the other side of the planet, and I'm gonna find out about this, and it's gonna crush me. So this is like my new fear. But now I feel like
you can never watch Nocturne.
Oh God. I feel like I feel like I'm in a good spot right now. I don't know why. I just feel like this isn't a bad place to be where I'm at, my character. And I'm looking at PB's face for any reaction and got nothing. Okay. So I'm hoping because I lived and didn't die, because I was very close to dying for sure last episode.
Oh, yes.
So I think I still don't fucking have any idea. This is what I'm trying to say.
It was a good answer, though. I liked it.
That's what I got. That's what I got so far.
All right, let's see. Okay, this is for the whole cast. How did you feel when PB told you not to open the rule book until she said so?
Oh, disappointed. Really disappointed. Because I saw the artwork, and that was immediately like, whoa, this looks really dope. And it was so like everything that I could do not to open the freaking book, because I love reading and I love just diving right into stuff as soon as I'm trying to learn more about it. And then you gotta keep it in the plastic. You can't see anything about it. No spoilers, no nothing. So I'm just like, fuck, like it's still sitting there in my kitchen. I just have it like propped up so I see like the cool ass like bird thing on the front, and that's all I see. That's it. And it's sad. Genuinely disappointed.
I have a question. Who do you think will be able to open the rule book first among the three of you?
John tomorrow.
Wait, do we eventually?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Probably John or Dex was probably gonna be able to access the.
Although I could screw something up so bad over the next couple weeks, and then it's gonna be Lucian, who's just like
you could actually not be like ahead of us, but now
I could be back
behind us. Yeah.
I could be having to get back in the water to go to the world.
Yeah.
God,
stressful, man. I'm so glad it's not Wednesday.
So fucking freaky. But it is
tomorrow,
very Matrix, right? It's like you get to go back in, but you have this knowledge of there's a world outside this world and nothing that we do in here matters, kind of deal.
Yeah.
The Matrix is telling
me that Jacob is that Autumn and Lucian are gonna have to like play it as if they don't know what the fuck is going on like outside. You know, that's gonna be the tough thing, I think.
It's gonna be so
if
surreal.
he comes back?
Yeah, like
if I come back,
if he doesn't, well, I mean, we don't know if he's gonna come back at all. But like,
that's what scares me. That's where I'm sad.
It's gonna be difficult to play knowing where Dex is as Elspeth, and then as Autumn be like, everything's fine. You know, like I just don't fucking know.
He just teleport. And with the book for me, it's like getting a new pack of Magic the Gathering or Pokemon cards, and then your parents saying, "Hey, not now," and you're like, "What? What do you mean not now?"
It's like finding your Christmas presents wrapped and be like, "What? But can I open it?
Not till Christmas."
And they're like,
"Not till Christmas.
Not till next Christmas." And you're like, "Mom, it's fucking Christmas right now. What do you mean? It's Christmas right now." No, this one's for next Christmas.
This one's for next Christmas.
Bullshit.
Oh, jeez. Does anybody else want to weigh in on that, or should I move on to the next one?
Keep rolling.
All right.
Unless Brad has got something really good for us.
Brad's like writing
only
all this
thinking
down.
about the boss.
Brad is like
all this. He hasn't said a word.
Monitoring my face, so I gotta not say anything
happening.
He doesn't trust her. Should I stop talking this much, Brad? Be honest with me. Should I chill?
No, please
you
don't.
You can do whatever you want to do. You're already half dead in the middle of some wasteland. All right, it's just me and Autumn now. Okay, I've only got Autumn to look after.
Look.
You hate her though.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think Lucian hates anybody. I think
he just very much. Hates anybody either.
I think he thinks you're not real. I think that's
he's just incredibly discerning, right? So he's trying to be logical about this when there is like no fucking logic involved. It's just like you're fucking trapped in something under the water.
Even the improbable becomes probable, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Ooh.
I think that's what he said. He may have said something else.
I wrote down what I said vaguely.
It's in the recap as well, so it's
I said something about. I said, and something is so unbelievable, even practical ideas are impractical.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really good.
Then
it was really good.
Then where do you go, and what do you trust, and how? So he's trying to do that.
Yeah.
Damn.
And Yeah, no, I don't. Lucian, I don't think dislikes
Dalai Lama,
you
who is
guys.
she?
His demeanor, you're confusing his like demeanor.
Oh,
with his
without a doubt.
attitude,
Mm.
I think, which
John
is fair,
doesn't
totally
consider
fair.
You hate her, but like
I would also hate him in real life if it was me and I was in there with Lucian. I'd be like, fuck this guy.
Oh.
Well, I mean, Autumn reacts pretty much almost instinctively on a lot of characters that I play are very like emotionally driven characters, but I think Autumn is she's just mad at Lucian for not being more empathetic. What's the word there?
Empathetic.
He lacks a lot of empathy, right? Because he's like, well, you're all made up, you're all figments of my imagination, and Autumn's like, man, fuck that.
Yeah.
She would never say that though.
No, that's 100%. Both of your characters seem to be quite emotional, and you're just normal. You know, you're just like I'm just being, like Lucian's just super pragmatic, and it's uncomfortable in this situation when you want some humanity to grip onto.
Yeah, no.
Super British.
Oh, thanks.
He's so British.
So one of the questions was actually, what is everybody's take on everybody else's character? So I think we kind of just covered that now, unless anybody wants to add anything else. But there was a question specifically for Brad. Out of curiosity, is Lucian on the spectrum? Totally cool if he is. I'm just legit curious.
Yeah, I wondered that as well a little bit. I don't.
I know you mentioned that you weren't sure if you were going to do that or not during character creation. So.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I have enough knowledge to even play that as a role player either. But I don't think so. I think he's just extremely pragmatic. You know, it's more leaning towards just how he approaches things. Is it's weird because everyone keeps asking him about belief and karma and shit like that, and I'm like, I feel like his only real belief is like the pragmatism ideology almost. You know, I'm kind of leaning on that really heavily, but I think underneath it all he's reacting pretty like, you know, pretty much the same way as everyone else has been. It's just that the way he presents himself and stuff is different and perceived.
Which is so cool for you as a person, because you are usually like the like very like loud and out there and in your face.
Yeah. I've never played a character like it. It's really difficult, but no, I don't think so. I considered it, and as in I thought about where he lies with that stuff, and I don't think so, but also, you know, I also don't hard code in things too much, but I wouldn't say so either.
Okay. Thank you for answering that. Sorry, I was looking at all the fucking crazy questions that have been coming in. Okay. Gav asks, how much of your week is taken up by thinking about Gone? Whack, I'm deleting your question about Dag 3. That's an interesting question. I mean, I can answer that, obviously a lot of it, but I don't know about you guys. If you walk away thinking about it too much more, or if you try not to think about it until you're playing the game.
I'm aware of it in the back of my brain, but I'm trying not to think about it too much because it's going to send my brain into these like paranoia spirals, which is why as soon as you did this like atypical thing here, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. Whatever she's doing is some twisted test thing. So I'm trying not to theorize too much because like I've said a few times, we're all like so outside of, we have the least information of everyone on the planet, including viewers, 3 of us. So that the endless possibilities,
even less.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, because some of the viewers have purchased their rule books and also left them wrapped, so they have no idea either.
But you still tell them things as the audience.
That's true.
That we don't.
They can go in the Discord or whatever, and they can check
and they can theorize
like
together. That's right.
Together.
That actually leads into another question. For the cast, what are your thoughts on the fourth wall breaking in the show?
When was the fourth wall breaking?
Like when
I actually am having trouble remembering when the fourth wall was
when
broken.
I pause and I say you, the viewer, and me, we see.
They're like playing chess or some shit, and the kid looks right at the camera.
Yeah.
And she's done it. You did it like episode 3 or 4.
I've done it a couple of times, or like during the moments, like for example, last week when we saw, hold on, what's his name? Maury. Okay. Maury. When we saw Maury, I described him for the viewer and me first. Yeah. I had to think of his fucking name. But I described him first for the audience before you guys saw him. So moments like that, I think.
It's weird because sometimes just GMing like D&D, I'll be like, oh, we see this scene, and you can describe things sometimes like, oh yeah, you would see the camera kind of swoop over a battlefield, you know, and so you get that image. So that's sometimes just a useful just GM thing where you just explain things that way for the audience for an immersive entertainment experience. But I don't trust for 1 second that that's what you're doing. I think you want my brain to think that's what you're doing, and I assumed that you were just setting a scene at first, and then I was like, wait, is she setting a scene? And then I started off on it again, and I mean that led into one of my Truman Show theories anyway, in my own head, like way back at the beginning. Yeah, I also, because this is the thing here, when I start talking about the stuff, my brain allows itself to go off. This is what I don't like doing. But I also just know how much PB loves The Truman Show.
I do love The Truman Show.
It might be your favorite movie ever.
It's one of those weird films that I don't like. I don't know if
she
it
loves
is or
it,
not.
like, for real though.
I do really love it. Yeah.
It's
I love that
great movie. It's great.
Yeah, well, I think I loved it, and then I rewatched it for a podcast that I was on, where I was talking about the film, and it just felt really relevant to me now as a streamer or a broadcaster. And I feel like with the, you know, social media and everything, and we're all in the process of exiting the Truman Show, whatever that is for us, either, you know, our mental process of being watched or putting ourselves in this box. And yeah, it's an incredible film that I didn't realize how much I would care about it until like a year or so ago.
I'm not losing the idea of the Truman Show then. I'm gonna keep that.
It's dead on.
It is legit one of my favorite films. I wouldn't say that it is my ultimate favorite.
I know what type of stuff PB watches. Yeah. Like, despite how it appears online, me and PB are really good friends. And one of the things that we talk about a lot is like TV and movie and media and books and stuff like that. I really know her very well now, and I think you know me really well about what kind of things that we enjoy. We have a lot of very good movies and things that we enjoy for the same reasons. We've watched. I know a lot of the things that she's been like filling her little chaos brain with.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years, and I'm concerned. I know that you love The Matrix. I know that you love Truman Show. I know that you've been watching things like The Leftovers recently, and I'm worried about all of those things combining into what this is. And so my brain is like, oh, we're in, you know, the Truman
we're
Show.
In the Truman Matrix.
She's taken an element from this film that she likes, this film and this show, and then she's combined them, and that's what we're in. But I question myself. I'm like, but then maybe that's too obvious. Maybe he's like ridiculously intelligent, and I also don't like even like, I don't think it's really possible for me as Brad, maybe me as Lucian, to somehow slowly work this out. But me genuinely outside of this as Brad, I don't think I can IQ match her enough.
That's not true.
To crack the code anyway. She's like an Enigma machine or whatever. Like we're supposed to be an Enigma machine, and she's the encrypted code, and I don't have the code breaking ability to do it. So I also kind of just don't trust it. I'm quite comfortable in my paranoia, to be honest.
Yeah, I do enjoy your paranoia. Actually,
I just sit and. That's the thing as well that I think, you know, that makes me wonder with her.
Which one?
Because I know you, I know that you love the Truman Show, and so when you say stuff like, "Oh, the audience sees this," I'm like, "Yeah, she doesn't mean chat," you know. She doesn't mean chat at all.
I should have had that on my soundboard. Okay, let's see.
Damn.
We've got another. Yeah, these are great questions, everybody. Thank you so much. If we don't get to, we're on a sort of tight schedule today. So if I don't get to everything, I apologize, but I will send this list to the cast, and if they can answer them, they will.
Yeah, we love homework.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone loves homework. Cast.
Okay. Does RP impact you in real life? Do you feel stressed out, or do you enjoy the effect that it has on you in real life? And that's from Ectoplasm 8.
I think after the show, definitely, because each episode has been so emotionally taxing in a good way, right? So I think we all put so much effort, and I would say maybe even Brad puts like so much more. He has to like restrain himself from becoming like emotional, right? So at the end, everyone's just like, thank God, now I can like process this and now I can think about it, because when it's all happening, you know, you don't really have time. Like PB just like rushes into stuff, and then when she's taking your time, you're like, oh my god, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? So like it's almost like a constant roller coaster of, holy shit, I hope I make the right choice here. And so after that, you know, when you have time to think about it and be like,
ever given me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, it's a stressful show, but again, it's so amazing how just involved I get with all the characters and playing Autumn. It's just like, damn, I didn't think I was gonna think about this for like 6 days straight, because almost every episode I'm like, all right, is it Wednesday yet? Is it next Wednesday yet? I'm ready. I'm ready to like do this all over again.
Kind of end the Zoom call and just kind of like deflate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And PB always messages me afterwards, because I'm always like, that was so stressful. Like, because every episode, I truly, I want to see a clip at the end of every episode. If my face is like this, like pissed, like what the fuck, like is that? Can we do more? Like that's it. Yeah. And then like I can finally chill. And then she always messages me. And she's like, "Are you sure? Like this is okay? This isn't like too much, right?" And I'm like, "No, but like yes."
But yes, it's like she cuts it at the perfect time too. So like, even last week when we went over, it was just like, well, we're all having such a great, like, I don't know, we're having really good communication right now with each other. And then we're able to like, just keep carrying it, you know, and it's like, I could just keep playing. But PB's like, nope, here's your cliffhanger. Yeah. This is all we got. And then next week, we're just going to dive back into it. It's just like, Jesus Christ. It's like a really good show, like a really fucking good television show that you're a part of, you know?
And I'm waiting for the shopping episode. Like I'm waiting for a chill episode that's like us going shopping,
like,
and we're just gonna.
That's
not happening.
Go get.
I'm kidding. It might happen. It might happen. Who knows?
Every week.
We haven't had a relaxing episode, but you know what? That's I like it. I like it. I do too.
It keeps me super interested.
Yep. It's an interesting show. If this were a book, I would have probably finished it already. I would have been like, I'm done.
I would have got to the first page and closed the book, like the last book that PB recommended.
I did. I'm sorry. I actually feel really badly about that. I should have maybe reread that.
I'm getting some never-ending story vibes from this too, where Bastion, like at the very end, suddenly he starts to take part in the world because he's reading the book, and so then he's like, oh shit, like I can actually change how this is. I can change their world. I'm reading it and I'm helping them restore, their shit. So I'm like, can we do that?
Yeah, like, are we doing that?
Can I as Elspeth? Yeah. Am I as Elspeth going to be doing something for Autumn?
Yeah.
So that was kind of this theory where I'm like, so fourth wall, does that fucking mean like I can like start helping Autumn? I don't know. Rest in peace, Artex.
That's when you get the book. That's when you're allowed to read the book. That's when you're allowed to
read the book is like, well, you're the player, but you're also going to be playing.
Ooh, wait, is that right? Can we all pull out our books now?
I don't know. That's why I was like, dude, what if we are allowed to change this universe? Sorry, I'm going completely on a tangent.
No, this is perfect.
I was like, I wonder if we're going to be
perfect. You're going to forget it all tomorrow, motherfucker.
I'm going to shout the fucking name of the queen and then that's going to be her name and whatever. You know?
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is happening. The only other element that disproves some of these things for me is the fact that and I can't remember what the fuck they keep calling themselves. They're like visitors or residents or something, they said. Which suggests more of a Westworld thing.
We're tourists and then the other people are locals?
Locals.
Yeah.
Locals or travelers. I can't remember which one Maury said he was like a traveler, or he was like, I'm on the railroad. I'm a rail traveler or some shit. And I'm just like, what does that mean?
Westworld? I've never seen it.
It could be right, yeah. It gives me like a Westworld vibe. It gives me that kind of a sense that some people are vaguely aware. Or I mean, I actually have a weird feeling that this is gonna fucking sideline into something else that So at the moment in my D&D game, spoilers, they're basically inside of a demon's genjutsu, the thing in Naruto where they put you inside of like your own illusion kind of situation. And like that seems to be possible as well. Like this could be being imposed upon us by some sort of weird supernatural element. Like we're just kind of assuming it's Truman Show or Matrixy, which are all, they're not really supernatural elements. But it could be like a ghost did this. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like this could be some sort of Cthulhu thing that's trapped us in our own kind of weird thing and feeding off of us. I don't know.
I for sure think it's a game too. I don't know why. I keep going back to like the game. Just
we're in hell. We're in purgatory, and the locals are little impish demons, and we're tourists. I don't know. It's too much. My head hurts.
I can almost guarantee that we're not ourselves, right? So I don't think any of us are really us. I think we had those memories inserted somehow, like or replaced. And I just think that we're just like meat bags, right? Under this fucking lake, and we're just getting injected with new memories. Maybe like every time we die in this simulation. And so our characters are not really who we think they are.
But we remember something, because everyone's freaking out that we remember something from the bank, which was the DMV or whatever, and we're not supposed to. That's when the shift changed. Mm-hmm. Episode 1 was simulation 1, and episode 2 was simulation 2, but we retained the memory of simulation 1. And episode 3 was simulation 3, and we remember the things. Although I guess that doesn't really make sense with Reckon and that, because that's why they were in 2 episodes. Right.
And then you have to lose memories to get better.
No, they weren't.
I do have a question about that, actually.
No, they weren't. I've worked it out. Sorry, carry on.
Oh,
I've done it.
Sorry. Did you figure it out? Would you like to share with the class?
No, is that not what it is?
I'm sorry. I was thinking about
Reckon
something
was
else.
in episode 2. Well, this is obviously not, otherwise she'd be listening. So no, carry on.
Oh.
Should have been like this if I was getting it right.
No, I'm trying not to listen. I'm reading these things. But you may have actually said it, and I just wasn't listening. I was reading these questions and trying to think.
Episode 1 was like simulation 1, but we were in a DMV. Then they ran the simulation again, but the difference was that it wasn't a DMV, it was a bank, and we weren't supposed to remember it, and we kind of blended those two things together. Which is why Reckon and Law returned for Dex in the last episode, because they've come back into the game. They've been repurposed and they're alive again, but they're not. Which is why they were confused, because we've seen 3 versions of Law. The first one, then the second one. The first one was in the DMV. The second one was the one that was in the hospital with me and in Dex's house. And then the third one was the one that got out of the car that Dex saw last time. Cop, right? So then there's the.
So they're getting programmed, is what you're saying.
They're getting programmed. But we're remembering shit and they're freaking out. Yeah, because we shouldn't be able to remember the DMV.
But then when we remember. Then their reactions usually been like, how do they know? Isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes, and but it breaks the rules for them to tell us, so they don't.
If they're programmed, wouldn't they be wiped clean of it and just been like?
I don't know if they're programmed or they're just rejacking in, or I don't know the outside element.
Rejacking in.
We've been through 3 simulations, and we're retaining information from previous ones, and we shouldn't be. And I'm calling them simulations just as a word. I have no idea what they actually are. They could be, whatever. Right? And we're retaining information that's freaking them out. We're doing some Matrix 3 fucking take control of the machine thing, but I don't know if we were supposed to be able to do that first or not.
I love how we started this, and Brad was like, I'm not saying shit. And now he's like, listen,
and now he's just like, I figured it out. I figured it out.
I hadn't thought of that before until that moment. I was like, wow, that's it. That's
awesome.
These are 3 different things, and that's why that's why the other cast are rotating, because it's a different simulation. We're in simulation 9948321, and then that's why.
I don't remember what the question was, Doug.
No, I've gone as well.
Oh God, yeah, that's okay.
I don't know why we did this. This shouldn't be an hour long. It shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Yes, it's good. It's good. Okay.
One question will be answered throughout this entire hour.
No, we've actually answered a bunch so far. Okay. There's a lot of questions about character creation and what the behind the scenes process was like with me for that. For you guys, what that was like. And then there
want to know?
yeah, they want to know. There's a lot. There's like 6 or 7 questions. So if we could just talk about that for a bit. There's some really nice ones about, for each of you. Hold on. Let me just, Speth, there's a question about how excited were you when you found out we were in the South so you could use your accent. And there's a short answer for that. Actually, I think Speth chose the area first. We based it in the area because that's the accent you guys wanted to do, right? Yeah, so it's super easy answer there, but here they are. Okay, so we've got, oh boy, let me just delete that one. Brad, what made you gravitate towards a character like Lucian? Is there anything you can tell us about him backstory-wise that we might find interesting? Autumn is such an interesting character. When you were creating her, what was your process? John, you're very emotive and into Dex as a character. Were you attached to him during character creation or during play? What was the character creation process like? There's so many questions about what is it like behind the scenes during character creation with PB, like all this kind of stuff. So if we just want to talk about that, I think we'll cover a bunch. Who wants to go first?
I'll start it off.
I'll start off. Go for it.
So the character creation process was exactly how we started this show. There was not much. All that was given to us was PB literally, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, because my memory sometimes is weird. PB was just like, make an average everyday character. And I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you like? Can I make my, like, not like some cool superhuman strength, like
this isn't traditional like, D&D. It's not like you're rolling up a barbarian.
I want an average Joe. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And for me, that was like extremely hard, because usually like with characters, I like to find like one thing about them and then like concentrate on that. So I was just like, all right, an average Joe, I guess. So my character actually, like, for anyone who doesn't know me, has a lot of truths to like who I used to be as a kid. Not some things, not like the drug side of things, but like sort of just like building like explosives and like being just like an insane kid, but like trapped in like a 30-year-old's body. So like I thought it'd be really fun to like go back to my past and think about like, what if I didn't like start streaming and I stayed on the road as a musician, and like my, you know, like all that, a lot of that stuff's true. Like my bass player did quit our band when we were 21, and like
no shit.
Yeah. He did quit our band when we were 21. Not when we were on tour, of course, but like he quit our band, and we were a best friend band. It broke up. The band, the music that you hear in it, that's like my band. The Young Rapscallions is like an actual band.
And
like,
your reaction there was a real reaction, because you didn't know I was going to be using it in the show.
Real. I didn't know she was going to put that in, and I heard it, and I was like, that's like
my song. Like that was real.
It easy for me to like role play as Dex, and Dex is literally, you know, Brad and I have talked about this too. Well, you know, Dex is literally me if I just didn't have any filters, and I didn't. When I was going to school, like when I did high school and college, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Dex is if he has no idea, but he held on to like one little thing, like a music, like one song he wrote, and then got into like drugs and like things and partying and stuff. That's like what my life would have been like if I went down that path and didn't have like a smart, like some sort of filter of like knowing what's going on around me. So I thought that was a fun character to just run with.
They call that's something, lost possible selves. When you think about what could have been or what could have,
So yeah, that's me. Go ahead, one of you two.
I'll go.
I'm not following that.
Yeah. I did not have a lost possible self moment. I wasn't like, let me just take this other path here. Like, Autumn is kind of the opposite of a lot of me. Like she's I don't want to give away too much, I guess, but
you don't have to.
She's a messy person. She's a messy, scatterbrained person, and I based her actually off some of the people I met as a kid. So I was a part of a Unitarian Universalist church, and they were like, there were every type of person there, but most of them, they were like very close talkers, like beekeepers and shit. And they were just like, we love the earth, but also we're all going to hold hands at the end and talk about how love is our covenant. And so I'm like, man, none of these people like care about fashion or doing their hair. But they're very like familial. And so Autumn kind of has that same kind of path where she was like, you know what, I'm just going to be nice to everybody as much as I can be. Everyone deserves kindness. She has like fucking animals in her backyards and shit, but they're all like from the wild, right? So she has squirrels as pets. And she's a collector of things. She's a collector. But she doesn't really have her shit together, but she doesn't care that much. She doesn't really care what other people think of her. So she's definitely not a vain person. And I'm a very vain person. Like, for real, I'll probably look in my mirror and be like, looking good. How you doing? How you doing? And Autumn doesn't even like own mirrors. Like, if she has one, it's probably just so dirty that she doesn't even care. So it's a very different, like, I just tried to make like a lot of opposites. Like, she's still emotional. I react pretty emotionally to stuff, but she's still like just kind of like even. She tries to be as even keel as possible. And I wanted her accent to be something that I didn't really know how to do. So like a kind of deep South, like Baton Rouge accent. I really could not do that.
So
I
ballsy.
had to like watch a ton of videos and be like, okay, here's what people sound like, you know, close to like Louisiana, because there's a difference between like Louisiana and Georgia.
Yep.
And so sometimes I'll like slip into like a Georgian accent.
Yeah.
Right. So people be like, well, that's not Georgia. I'm like, I'm not trying to do like a Georgian accent, you know. It's very like just general South. And there's a drawl there, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to make her sound Southern, but not like a Southern belle, just, you know, Southern enough to be like, yeah, she definitely lives in Louisiana. So yeah, she's like the hippie aunt, basically. And she has these crystals and she's into astrology and shit. And you know, for me, I really try to take things literally. In that sense, I'd probably say my character, I am more like Lucian, where I'm just like, no, let's be logical about this shit. But here I am, you know, I've got my fucking Cancer, the crab mug for my own astrological signs. So I'm just like, well, maybe there is a bit more of me in Autumn than I'd like to admit. Anyway,
I actually like that about what you've done with her, because it feels like it feels like each of you have done this a little bit. You've taken some very small aspect of your own personality and you've just gone, well, what would it have been like if I really had done, you know, dive in, for lack of a better word.
Blown, all right, you know
what would that be like?
I will believe in the stars, and yes, I will believe in omens and signs and whatever.
And it's so fun to reference things that are happening now in this world, and bands and music and movies. Like that has been one of the best experiences for me. Sorry, I'm gonna let Brad go, but like, is just being able to like talk about like what's happening in my life, you know, like the real world, like that, and just be like, I want to pick up my phone, I want to Google, I want to check something.
That's
I want to.
When I stopped playing D&D. Was my first campaign that I was in that was like present day. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I can, anything that I want, I can just Google. I can go to a computer.
It's not like,
oh my God,
I'm gonna use Google. What is Google?
Yeah, exactly.
I've never heard of such a, and always those jokes, you know, like, which are hilarious.
I want Dex to Google John Sandman or something.
Yeah, dude.
What if he watches him as a YouTuber on Rocket League? Oh my God.
What if he finds Gone?
Oh my God.
What would he do?
Dude, this would be absolutely insane. Just crazy shit.
Don't give us ideas.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, you'd have to know what he'd have to
That's
know
what
who John was,
the
right?
black hole singularity that we're trapped in.
Conception.
That's what did it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what did it. Okay. Brad, you're up. Tell us about Lucian.
I feel like I've already spoken about it a bunch, but I just pretty much wanted to play a character that I've never played before. That was it. I always play really like, I have two trope characters that are Brad tropes, where I play either like a lawful good paladin-esque character that's just very good guy, does the right thing, very much would sacrifice himself for others, or I play a chaotic little goblin or something that's just extreme chaos and campaign ending wild man, for the most part comedic kind of thing. I've never really played anyone that was intelligent. I've never played anyone because I genuinely can't role play it. It's hard to be an idiot in real life and role play someone that's intelligent, because even it's hard to just speak eloquently enough, because I'm a little poverty child I'm like one of those little kids from Oliver Twist that, you know, that's following Fagin around. Please, sir, can we have some matches? Like, that's how I was brought up, almost literally, Victorian London. I have no idea how to speak like intelligently even. I'm not very eloquent. I'm not very academically.
He lied.
Academically intelligent.
I was referring to the not very eloquent.
Right, but I mean, I don't think I have a huge like linguistically imaginative, arsenal at my. See, I can't even think of the word there. So I can't. I didn't want to play. I don't usually play these characters because it's quite difficult to do, I think, without a script or without being slightly academically intelligent in the world. Disposal is the word, yes. I wanted to try that because I've never done it. I wanted to play someone that was very pragmatic. I don't want to say not emotional, but not really emotionally driven.
I don't know if I could ever do that. That's so crazy to me.
It's very hard. That was Rin. That was Rin for me for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I had to really.
And then people just think you're mean.
Yeah.
There you go. Here we are.
But Lucian's such a great character too, in that he is.
I just like watching him talk and
he's
try and
so
figure things out by himself in a maze.
and
Like, that shit's.
My favorite thing is this, when he's like thinking and he's because Brad has mannerisms that he will do in character, and he'll do this when he's really troubled about something and can't figure it out, and I fucking love it.
Yeah,
I'm doing the recaps and I'm like, oh, Lucian, I love them all
with
so
my
much.
fingers and stuff. Like, because this is like that's how he thinks and speaks and stuff like that.
And he strikes me as a very kind of tactile person, which I think is also part of why people assume he might be on spectrum, because that is also very similar. Like, you're constantly touching and you're, but did you? Yeah. It's my
so my little
and the shirt, the importance of your shirt. Just
my nephew, my sister's kid. He has what is it called? It's a form of dyspraxia in his fingers with touch. He's autistic, but he has these things. He touches things all the time, and I was aware of that because I just did it unconsciously. I was like, this is what Lucian does or whatever, and I did think that, and that was one of the first times that I truly thought, like, I was like, maybe I am playing Lucian as a little autistic, but I'm not attempting to. But it's something that I was thinking about a lot as well. But I like it. I like that he does that. It helps me get into character for him as well, because I have to be like really in character to play this character that's so different from me. He's just so different. He was brought up with money, brought up in a nice place, went and like focused on academia, earned his right, did all this, like got all this money and this kind of stuff. So it's, that's really all there is to it though. I just wanted to play someone that was very mostly different from the characters that I've played before, but also just different from me. He's not entirely different from me. I think quite logically, I wouldn't immediately jump to like, we've died and we're in heaven, that wouldn't be how I approach things either. Or that kind of thing. I'm not very like emotional on the surface. I think probably underneath I'm turbulently emotional. But yeah, so there are things that are similar between us, but really I just wanted to play someone very different for myself and kind of test myself. And I'm very, very nervous a lot of the time when I do put on the shirt, because I'm like, man, someone's going to question him about something that he would know and I can't know.
You're doing a great job. All of you are.
Yeah, that's great.
You're all
I'm loving
super into it.
I'm loving playing it. It's so fun to interact with these characters. They do seem very real to speak to. Even as Lucian, I'm like, wow, this X is so real to me.
Everyone
so real to me. Even
real.
this like random potato man that shows up.
God,
Potato man, by the way.
Fuck.
He's the only person that made sense to Lucian in this entire thing so far.
And that's what I love so much, because I was the opposite. I was like,
you were the opposite, yeah.
Get out of my room!
Yeah, get the fuck out. So that actually leads into the very next question, which is perfect. Who do you trust and who do you distrust in character and out of character of the other players that you've met?
Ooh.
I distrust Law.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think, unfortunately, well, okay, because they do such a good job of making everything so goddamn suspicious. Laura and Reckon, I don't trust them at all, right? I mean, as soon as we know that Dex sees Laura and Reckon come back, it's like, oh no, this is not happening. We're not about to just throw our fucking fate in the hands of like freaking people that just got resurrected who are clones, maybe, who knows. Like that shit's scary. I think Autumn probably trusts Violet the most.
Yeah, they had a connection with the crystal.
They did. I think she thinks Potato Man is a little odd, but he's just listening to the waves of the potato, and Autumn knows that's a real thing.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So she's like, okay, well, he's just doing his own thing, but definitely had like a connection with Violet, because when Autumn was trying to do that with Dex, where it was like, okay, we're just gonna rock back and forth while you're choking, because Violet was doing this same motion. It was kind of like, well, maybe this is the right thing to do, just kind of trust your gut. But as far as everyone else, she's just kind of like, oh, okay. Potato waves.
It's so funny because I'm like, until last episode, I was opposite. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, Laura, you trusted Laura a lot.
Like, Laura was like, yeah, you seem normal. Like, this is like, I definitely believe you. And Violet and Potato Man, like Mari, right?
Mori. Yep.
Mori.
Mm-hmm.
Mori, like, no way, not into it. She is a demon child that is like the last horror movie I just saw, and I got a panic attack. I had to leave the theater. Like, saw that, like, no. And like, he is just like a crazy dude from Lost who like you just, what the fuck? Why are you trusting him at all? So when they followed him and were like, yeah, this guy's got,
I just saw that clip this morning. You were like, what? You were so
losing your mind.
John, this is not even Dex talk. I was like, this is a joke, right? Like, are you joking me? Like, these people, these are like characters. Like, this is not real life at all.
Mm-hmm.
So until last episode, like when Laura came back as like a cop, I think Laura would be the one. Autumn obviously is like who I trust the most. Like, that's who I like.
Yeah, you two bonded right away.
Right away, because I think we both.
Well, it's hard
both
to
our
bond with Lucian. His personality is a bit.
He also died
abrasive,
in episode
right?
1.
He doesn't want to bond with anybody, so it's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
But for sure. I also want to see, and this is just my idea, not Autumn's. I would love to see Myth come back as like a totally different dude, but we don't know. I don't think we know his face because he was wearing a mask the entire time.
He did so take it off, didn't he?
No, we would have no idea.
He pulled it up at one point. So you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he pulled it up. I think you would recognize his face at least.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool to see him, but like not as a robber, but then have that kind of memory, like, oh shit, I don't trust this guy. But he's like, why don't you trust me?
Where do I know you from?
Where do I know you?
I'm assuming that's going to happen at some point, but we can't do it yet because we haven't worked out the Truman Show Simulations 5 situation. That's what I really thought would happen as well with Myth's character. Or maybe he'll just never come back. I mean, I hate that guy anyway, Mythomac. He's like the worst. So I'm happy.
I love that you guys have like fake beef.
Yeah. Brad has fake beef with everyone. Except for maybe you, John.
Yeah, not me.
Fake beef with John.
Wait, we do?
John's one of the only people that understands me when you're trying to play D&D and someone just comes in screaming, "Hey, you want to play Rocket League? Hey, can you message PewDiePie for me?" One of the only people in the world that genuinely understands that.
I will never do a D&D on my phone ever again. The biggest mistake of my life. This isn't Rocket League.
Oh man, do you remember every week?
Every comment, every time. And it was great. Man. Like, we had good numbers, but it was just not the right number.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. What are your thoughts regarding the guest characters and their different approaches to your characters? I think we sort of talked about this, but if you have anything extra to add about how they're interacting with
only the potato man.
Yeah, only the potato man. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were confused. Like John was saying, it was really weird. It really, like, I understand that from a viewer perspective, it doesn't make any sense that I randomly, like, I was like, we mustn't leave. We have to stay with the body. It's absurd. We don't contaminate the evidence. Why would you even hide the thing, you idiots? And then 2 seconds later, I was like, we run into the rain and follow the potato man. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Is that just Brad being a bad role player and chaotic and stuff? Which it really looked like. That's the type of thing that I do in my chaotic character things.
No, it made perfect sense to me for Lucien to be like, this is the only thing that sort of makes sense in all of this craziness, so I'm gonna follow it, and I have a second to make a decision.
Very much a Rin decision.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, where nobody knows.
Decisions
but...
as Rin because of things that weren't revealed until the very end.
Yeah.
I when we first started, I knew KPP and Domestic Dan like both had very silly, goofy, kind personalities, like in real life. And I had never really seen a lot of their role playing. So when they came on as these very serious characters, it was almost intimidating to have Dan like interrogating us. But, you know, in character, I'm just like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Dan, can you like make a cheesecake or something? Because this is just I'm uncomfortable. So interacting with their characters was it was unnerving for sure, because they're both such different people on their streams and I think in real life.
Yeah.
Classy Katie and Zeke, I was like, they're gonna be insane, and they're totally unpredictable. I don't know what characters they're gonna be playing, but I know they're gonna be amazing at it. So because I've RP'd with them before, I'm just like, I'm just gonna expect insanity and probably get it. but it was. And Myth is like, I've never seen Myth before. Like I honestly had never even like.
Yeah, I'd like to know this. Who do you think is tomorrow?
I know he is.
You know he is, so it would be Pax and what? Who? Well, we sent both. Who would be the?
Myth got shot in the head, which means he's with you in the fucking dream death.
Maybe
void.
he is.
Wait, so you're saying I'm dead?
Myth again?
I don't know what happened to you.
That reaction! Oh my god!
I don't know.
This is my problem. I believe Brad on a lot of things.
I do too. It's a bad mistake.
It's a big mistake. We fall for shit a lot.
Yeah, we do. We're so gullible.
But if whatever happened to you potentially happened to him when he got shot by KPP's character.
I didn't get shot.
Right?
I just
Myth did.
Yeah, Myth did. So why would he be with me? He should be in like another level.
He's already there.
But what if your memories are wrong, John?
Yeah,
sorry,
John.
I can't make jokes like that. I can't make jokes like that. I'm sorry.
You're not allowed.
I'm not allowed. I'm the GM. I can't do that.
Can I also just really quick? Can I point something out?
Yes, please.
Tomorrow's April Fool's Day. Okay, and that is the same day that we have our episode. So
yeah, fuck off.
I don't know.
I don't like pranks.
Okay,
so
I'm also not a big fan of like really like super drawn out pranks. So I just want to like have everyone bear that in mind, you know, like.
Oh yeah, don't worry. It's not a prank show. You're not on a game show.
I don't want it to be
at the end of it all, she's like, that was just for fun.
Yeah. Now you can open your books and we'll play the game for real. No.
God, no.
No.
Could you imagine that though?
No.
It'd be the biggest.
It would be awful.
Biggest troll.
Yeah.
I would be really sad actually. I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not really.
He says frantically like rewriting everything. Oh God, now I'm gonna make it make sense.
No, I gotta no. I
do want to say this though with the characters. It's gonna be really hard to ever do another D&D again that doesn't have rotating characters, because it is the most fun thing to not know who you're gonna be playing with and adding like role play with, but also it adds such a freshness and such a good vibe to like every episode. It's like so, you know, and I feel like even for those players who are getting, like I even told you, PB, I don't know if I told you this, but if you ever did like a rotating, I want in on that, because that is so cool to just be like, yeah, I'm here for a couple weeks. I think know
that's what happened with the Nocturne cast.
It is what happened with the Nocturne cast. So and actually, so this was a question, so I will answer that kind of what was behind the scenes like with PB here. Is that I knew, and I've said this on my stream, so I'm going to say it again. I knew I wanted John in the show during Darkfire. And I was like, if John is available, I will write a fucking show for him. that is like,
which is crazy nice. And I saw you say that on I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I meant it. I was very much like, oh, I see that he is wanting to do more of the in-depth type of role play, so I will do that. Right. I will like do a sandbox for that. And then
where I just let me go crazy.
Yeah, and I had this weird ass idea, and I actually told Brad and Whack about it, that I wanted to do this rotating cast, and they both were like, "You're fucking insane. That's insane."
Whack's in the chat like,
you're crazy.
No. Objectively, it is the most insane thing.
It is objectively insane.
If you didn't have the entire Nocturne cast that were like, we have been enslaved by you, and we will do anything. Yeah, and this is all she does. She's like absorbing us into endless shows, rotating cast, until eventually she has everyone on Twitch as a rotating cast member. But if this was just any other thing, PB's like, oh, I'm running a 5e game and I'm gonna have 10 players who rotate cast.
Oh,
and
yeah,
none of them
insane.
had played in Nocturne or whatever. The most insane possible thing, because it's like wrangling cats as it is.
Yeah, to be fair, I also thought it might be a little bit much, which is why I asked them about it. I said, like, is this too insane? And they were both like, yes, it's absolutely insane. Are you bonkers? And I went, well, fuck you. I'm going to do it then, which was great. Thank you for that, Brad. Yeah. So but then I started to actually worry that they would say no, or that they wouldn't be interested. And so how do you kind of like tell them sort of what's going on without spoiling everything? But then also, so it was like a couple of weeks where I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this. And eventually I was like, I just have to tell them everything. So I did it, and I did it in a verbal letter. I recorded like what was it? Myth is in here. Was it like a minute or 2 minutes of me explaining the story, sort of? I left some things out for them that they now know, because I want them to have secrets too, right? To surprise them in the show. So I left some things out, but they thought they knew everything. And I like told them all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, let's see. And within like 2 minutes, everybody was like, yes, I want to do this. And yes, I'm cool to be a rotating person. Like, this is going to be fucking awesome.
I can't wait to watch the show, the first episode, first 5 episodes, from the perspective of knowing what they know.
Yeah.
Because that's probably so cool. The rewatchability, as if you know whatever the mechanic is, whatever the game is, whatever the show is, whatever the thing is, whatever the simulation, like, that's got to be fun.
It is a different experience, which I think is why they're in the chat together, so that they can talk to each other about everything that they know and watch you guys kind of figure it out. And when I originally thought of it, and this is probably the last thing I'll say on that, when I originally thought of it, I thought it would be really neat to have 2 games going, sort of. You've got these rotators who know something, and they're watching you, and they're playing with you, and you guys know some things, and you're playing with them. And then it's like, I just want to see what you guys do in this sandbox together, all of you. So I thought that would be kind of cool. So that's where that birthed. That's where that birthed. Yes.
Birth.
And then
so you hear that, Elspeth? So we were afterthought. So basically, PB's made a campaign for John Sandman.
No, okay. All right.
Her old cast. And I guess, fuck it. Elspeth, Brad, who gives a shit?
Okay. Heart on my sleeve. I have wanted to ask Speth to be in stuff for a very long time. I've just been terrified to message her.
Okay. Yeah. The backstory to this, if anyone doesn't know, real quick.
I wrote her a goddamn novel begging her to be like, would you be maybe interested in this?
She sent me a missive of information. It was just, I literally, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, PB. Yeah. I didn't read any of it. I scrolled down to the very end, and I was like, I'm in. I don't care what it is. I'm doing it, because I had seen PB shows before. I knew that she was an amazing DM, and I was just like, fuck it, I'll read this later. Just put me in, coach. Yeah. And then she sent me this picture of her because she was doing her face. She was doing makeup for another show, I think, at the time.
Brad's show, Dying Order.
She was just literally like this. Yeah. Like she took a picture by accident. But I was like, you know what? I'm not even reading. Just put me in. Just throw me in there. Whatever the fuck you want. I'm in.
It was so good. And I asked Brad as well, and he denied me 3 times. I had to beg him to be on the show. I had to beg him to be on the show.
You know, it was with me and Elspeth. This is OG shit, dude.
Right.
I know. Yeah, no, I hate both of you. But,
we did a show for 51 weeks together.
Well, the thing is, from my perspective, there's some other elements, and one of them is that I'm like, I'm not a good enough role player to be in a PB thing. I had seen enough of Nocturne and I was like, they're like fucking professional actors. It's fucking so intimidating.
Yeah, it was intimidating. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
The difficult second season of Nocturne 2. You're kidding me? Yeah. So, and like, Elspeth is a professional actor. She's they're pretending that she's like, oh, I'm scared, when she's the actual most professional actor you've ever met.
Well, it is scary,
so is John.
Yeah, John.
John with his
amazing.
IMDb credits. Right. And then there's Brad over here, who literally I am unable to feel emotion in real life, let alone
okay, but
roleplay.
Your commitment to your character, regardless of what it's going to do to the game, is like God tier. I haven't met anybody that will commit the way you do, even if it's going to derail the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Lucian who cares about going to Macy's to get his fucking shirt. That's what I want. I don't care if it's going to derail the campaign. That's what I want.
I also was like looking around, like, but there are just so many other better role players than me in the world. For example, Mythomatic.
That's literally what he said to me. He's like, no, put Myth in instead of me.
Like, how could you even consider me when Myth is in existence in the world? You know, he's not
Myth is a fucking tank.
He's real.
He's so good. But he did. He said put Myth in, and I asked Myth. Myth was also on my like dream list, and I said, "What would you prefer? Do you want to do this, or do you want to be a rotator?" And he was like, "I want to do the rotator." So I did ask him.
I've never seen Myth roleplay, and so when he like lifted up the thing off his camera, and he was just like, "All right, everybody, get put stuff in the bag," I was just like, oh my god!
It was legit. It was real.
Oh my god!
After the gunshot,
I was getting like chills and goosebumps. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, buddy, whatever you want.
Yeah,
so
fucking
good.
insane.
So good. Yeah, so I debated
so
like having 4 main people, even 5 main people, and then having other people come in and rotate. Like I flirted around with a lot of different ideas there, and then when I found the rule book and it was literally like the rule of 3s, I was like, okay. Yes, we're doing 3 people and that's it. Yeah.
I think it works.
Yeah,
really well.
It worked really well. It also worked that pretty much everybody that I asked, I gave them the opportunity to, if they wanted to be part of the main group, I would make that work if that's what they were more interested in. It just so happened most of them wanted to be the rotators. So I was like, all right, cool. That works out.
Yeah.
Works out.
I mean, I'm glad I'm in it, by the way. This isn't...
Sorry.
I don't want it to seem like an ungrateful
like,
thing or anything like that. It's not that I'm not grateful to be considered for it and stuff like that. It's just that I've been doing things on Tablestory for years now, and I've been running games for years and years. And so I know the roster of people that are available out there that are such great role players, and I place them just so far above me, you know. I just feel like production staff, and you're like James Cameron being like, "Hey, you want to be Batman?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want to. Are you crazy? Yeah, you're Batman now." I'm like, "Dude, I make donuts for the real actors." Like, you're Batman in the movie Batman now, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm Batman now, I guess." You know, it just seems weird to me that you would do that.
What did Zeke say last time? We were talking offline, all of us, and he said, "Happy accident," or the way things worked out. Yeah, it's perfect. I couldn't imagine it any other way now. You know, like I love Dex, Autumn, and Lucian like my own fucking children. I love them so much.
That's why you wanted to kill me last week, Mom?
Oh,
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't want to kill you. In fact,
a cockroach creature, tentacled demon grabbing his legs.
Listen, I broke GM character to start to apologize to you, and then I was like, no, stop, go, just keep going. So yeah, no, I did not want to kill you. I did start to apologize, and then I shut myself up because.
Oh my god,
the roles. I didn't do it.
Apologize to John.
I could still be dead.
You could. You very much could. I
in heaven.
think we have a couple more questions. If I'm not mistaken, are we short for time, John? I'm so sorry.
You got no. It's not me. I'm just gonna start my stream after this, and I know Brad is too.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
I have to continue
you
my
have to
stream.
continue. Oh my god.
He's on pause.
I want to go and get some dinner and just chill out, but I have to finish a boss battle for some reason. We did this.
Okay, let's see. I have some other questions here. Oh God, I'm sorry.
She's got a tally, by the way. There's like a tally where each of us has to answer questions, and whoever answers them, that's how many life points you get. You know, that's like how many hit points you get when the game begins.
Oh,
Well,
the game hasn't begun yet.
I think I mentioned this before, but and you can see it on your
Mass
character
Effect
sheet
point
too.
system that we're building up war assets in this Q&A.
now who's being affected by the media you're consuming? That's you.
Are you kidding me? I've played Mass Effect and found out that it's my entire storyline for Dying Order, and I was like, "Oh, someone already wrote my whole campaign."
Guess I'll die.
Oh, I'm an imposter. The imposter syndrome is a real thing. I am an imposter.
Oh God.
It's horrendous.
Okay, so we answered that one. I'm so sorry. Hold on one second. Swaggish asks, when you are role-playing your character, how careful versus spontaneous are you about making sure what you say or do is in character? I think that's a very interesting question because I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like I see you guys are reacting spontaneously, but you're so in your character spot that your spontaneous reaction is true to your character. But I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just live in character for a few hours pretty much.
I react like very like my character, and then, or actually I react as me, which is in character as Dex, and then if I have to pick up any pieces that makes it just Dex related, like I will do that. You know, does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also, you said that you can draw on. It's so nice when you have a character that is similar enough to you that you can draw on that like informed decision. You're like, this is an informed decision because Dex is similar to like a version what if
without a doubt
kind of thing.
That's why, yeah.
It's justified.
I was scared shitless before this campaign started. I talked to PB. Well, because don't really me, Missy.
You weren't scared.
I was so, what do you mean? We have messages where I was like, because, you know, we were talking about doing Louisiana and like accents. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
I'm not an accent guy. Like,
you weren't scared.
I was scared. I was like, I don't do like all the characters I've ever played, except for Manny, which was like my first D&D character, which is like my Hispanic, like dude, like that's the only like accent, and Southern obviously, but like
so much clutch.
Yeah. Like, you put so much work into your character.
Like, but like it's a different. It's just different. It's like a mindset thing rather than like, I just always wish like I had like the accents. I always wish I could be like the Elspeth, where it's like you can just, but you see Elspeth, like for this character, she was even saying like watching things, listening to things. Like there's a lot of study that goes into it that like, I just slip out too like of accents too much. So like, I like one shots, I'll do an accent. I'll do some weird Russian accent and just roll with it.
Hell yeah.
Dude, it's crazy how into it.
I also agree. I also wish I was Elspeth. I actually have like this bubblegum effigy in my closet over the years, and I'm collecting things that Elspeth's been throwing out. Aww. She doesn't realize I actually live like 2 doors down from where she lives.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
Collect pieces of her hair and clothing.
Okay, so this next question
will be complete.
It's been really fun being on the show, guys.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so I have
one day your stream's just going to start, and you're going to be like, "Hello there, it's me, Elspeth. It actually is me. I'm not trapped. I'm not Brad trapped in Elspeth's body after a dark ritual.
Hello, I'm an editor on YouTube.
The wolves an editor on YouTube.
Oh God.
My memories are my own. Promise.
All right, I have a couple more questions. This is actually perfect. I mean, there are a bunch, but I have a couple more that I think we can answer now. The first one is more for, I can answer this one. The Only Solomon asks, to Brad and John, did you guys plan the connection between your characters, or was that a shock? It was not planned.
Yeah, no, yeah.
What do you mean by connection?
As in you,
I think how you guys know each other.
We know each other, right?
Oh,
yeah.
The fuck
no.
That's all about, yeah.
I
still don't know what that's
through
about.
roles, I'm pretty sure, right?
I can't
or
really
we
answer
don't know.
That. Yeah,
I don't know. No, we have no idea.
Really
We don't know, dude. And that's what's so hard is I can't be like, oh, dude, you were this guy. Like, no, we don't know. So it's just like, we know each other. Have fun with that. Run, go.
The rewatch will be amazing once you all know, though. I will say that. I think that'll be fucking awesome.
But it ties into one of my other Final Fantasy VIII at the orphanage theories. Like we've all got GFs equipped going on that situation that happens where they
just like go through a checklist of all the things I love so very much and be like, how is this connected?
I know, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, how, I don't think you're as bad as me for like plagiarism, but still influential things in your life. I'm like, Final Fantasy VIII, you like that one, so maybe we all knew each other at the orphanage, you know, and we forgot
the
about
orphanage.
That's what happens in the game. All of your player characters find out that they knew each other.
Oh, that's crazy.
They kind of forgot. Yeah, it's a weird.
PB, I have a question for you, real quick.
Yes.
And you might not be able to answer it. It's sort of like the moment we had on last episode, or I had personally, and then I, shared it, and like with discovering we can create things, and we roll a dice, but obviously it's not a dice. It's just to see if we get the thing or not. That oh shit moment. Are there going to be a lot of those? Or is there going to be one, like, is there one thing that will be like, oh shit, we have now we can go. Now we can open the book and like go. Or is there multiple leading up to that big oh shit moment? You know what I'm saying?
I sort of maybe know what you're saying. I think if I can answer it this way. I think if I do my job right, there will be lots of oh shit moments like that.
Hey.
That's what I was scared of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope.
Because I asked PB, I was like, so how much more of the show do we have left? I feel like we have like 3 more weeks. Like, I feel like I'm on the final chapter, or
no.
We don't. Not at all.
Don't say that.
No, I think we've been taking our time to get through level 1. Like, we're in the prologue, and we haven't started the game yet.
I would agree with that.
Is the intro. That's what it. Yeah.
And that blows my mind because I already feel. I've already had so many emotions as if we've done a full run of a show.
I know,
that, like,
it's crazy. Yeah,
it's wild.
I'm like,
I kept thinking it too. I'm like, wait, this has like a week left. Like my GM senses are tingling. Like, dude, this is the end. This is like 2 weeks.
We
hit it for 2 weeks. And I'm like, and then I was like, oh no, we haven't started. That's what's really happening here.
I will say I have a couple of different things written and prepared. Like there are certain decisions I feel like you'll have to make, and one of them is it's like way open-ended, and the other one not so much. So it really depends on you guys, but I definitely say there's more than 3 weeks left. Yeah, there's a bit.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do this theoretically and happily. I would do this to like the end of the year.
Yeah.
I would just keep me in there, coach.
I got about one more week before I can't.
Before you have cardiac arrest.
Buckle under the stress.
Okay, so the last questions are, what are your favorite moments so far, and what were the craziest, most stressful moments so far?
Can it be any?
It can be anything. Yeah.
Like what we've witnessed, or as like what we've played as our character.
Why not both? And seems like a great place to wrap up. There was one question from Doubly for John that says, how did that critical failure feel? So I feel like we could also talk about that a little bit as well, and then we'll call it. We'll wrap it up.
Cool.
So, yeah. What are
I think being in the desert for the first time was probably pretty freaky. Like that was the moment where it was like, whoa, this is just completely like, okay, well, now we really have to start taking this as like, we were probably just on drugs. Something happened where we slipped and fell on a needle, and we're just super just out of it. And Autumn being alone in the desert for the first time, I think was really freaky too.
That was a really important moment for her too. Like for us as viewers watching as well. It was the first time we got to see what you would do on your own. I was very interested in that.
Right. And hearing like, the sound coming out of the giant octahedron was probably one of the, weirdest and scariest experiences of her life. I mean, that's pretty traumatizing when you see something that large just start making and emitting these noises. So she was terrified. I mean, really terrified. So I think that was probably, one of her most traumatizing moments. I think for me, it was when Zeke popped on screen with a potato wrapped in aluminum foil. Probably one of my favorite
fucking good moments.
That was so good.
Really good.
So far, yeah.
And
For me,
the
the scariest
fucking face he did too, where he was like angled like this and making it. Oh god, it was great. It's fucking
perfect.
great.
Favorite so far, or scariest, or just most?
Whichever you want to talk about, yeah.
Yeah, one was when Autumn and I are in the police thing, because that was the first time like I think like I was like, oh my god, there's something really weird going on. Like,
yeah,
we're both laughing, kind of like, oh yeah, it was a DMV. It wasn't even though I forgot that memory now, but like it was like we were laughing about that, and then we're in a police and the you know, the crackling of the keyboard and like the typing and just that whole transition to me running in the desert, and that I just remember like sort of freaking out in real life and just being like, oh my god, this is a crazy emotion. Like I felt it a little when we were getting robbed, and I was like, oh shit, like this is scary, but that's more action, like adrenaline. This is more like fear.
Another good compliment. Thank you. I was wondering how I could take you through those stages, episode 1, episode 2.
Fucked.
So
that was scary. And then a moment that I just like really loved, and it was like kind of on accident, was like me after I did my drug, and they came back. I loved the idea of them telling me this thing and me being a little high, and like just I started laughing a little, and I got caught in a laugh attack like in real life. I couldn't stop, and like it played obviously, and it was good for like that moment, but like
stress, tension relief,
like I haven't laughed like that in a long time. Aww. And not that I'm a sad person or anything, but like that kind of laugh is like when you're with like your 3 friends and you're smoking like a little marijuana and you're just like getting a little, you know. The last time I actually laughed like that was with my wife 8 years ago. Aww. We smoked together, and we were talking about like Taco Bell. I know. And we were talking about like Taco Bell. She never smokes really, and I never really smoked. And the only way she would smoke is if like I blew it into her mouth. It was like this cute little, I know, it's good, whatever. Don't take this the wrong way.
All right.
But I remember having that kind of laugh attack with her in that moment, and we were just like on the couch because she couldn't tell me that she used to like Taco Bell. That's all she was trying to say was I used to like Taco Bell. And for 30 minutes we were laughing our asses off because she was like, I used to. And I was like, and like she does that like high pitch like like where she can't like,
that's adorable. That's so cute.
That moment for me brought back like memories of getting high with my wife. No, no, it just like it was it was really cute, and great moment. And there's Bad Boob, holy shit.
Bad Boob was really good.
Oh yeah, Bad Boob.
Yeah, Bad Boob
that
was
song,
really good.
Oh my god,
the song was
so
great.
Good. We'll
Shotgun.
play that. I'll
Thank you. That's
play
what
that
it's
on
called.
the way out. Yeah,
Shotgun.
Did anybody else have another?
Brad.
I don't know. Brad, yeah, you gotta go.
Where do you want to lose?
My favorite moment is only and always will be, and will continue to always be, whenever Autumn and Dex are just talking about nothing.
Oh.
When they're talking
It's
about
so
like the first couple of episodes, whenever they had just a conversation by themselves that wasn't to do with like, why the fuck are we inside of a lucid dream?
Yeah.
Just them having normal conversations about nothing
when we were
at all.
talking about like sarsaparilla or whatever.
The whale
and the whale
poster,
The whale
anything like that
posters,
was I loved it, and I was just sat there like, don't end this, do not end this fucking scene, PB. I swear to God, do not have something crash through the wall and just let this run. Even
the scenes were long, like
time.
I did. I let it go.
And I loved it. I was sat there like I could honestly just watch this for 3 hours every week and just be like, this is what it is. We just sit John and Elspeth down. We give them like a scene, almost like improv. And you just go, okay, you guys are in the post office and you're queuing up. What do you do? And then it's just these two in the queue going, oh, these queues forever. It takes too long to get into the index. It's like, it's crazy. I can't believe these queues. The best. I just loved it so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Brad.
Let's see.
What scared you, Brad?
Again.
Yeah, what scared you? I don't know if anything has scared him.
I don't know. I think KPP scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, that was
Ooh,
it was
yeah,
scary
that's true.
because she was the way that he perceived everything at that point was that he hadn't actually been shot and that he just kind of passed out or something like that and woke up in the hospital, but that she was there to finish the job. He was a witness, and he had gotten out, and his brain kind of, for not being very imaginative, just filled in that blank, like, oh, she's here to finish this. And so he was treating her that way. For that entire thing was just him being like, oh, she's trying to get me somewhere to kill me and that kind of thing. Also, PB, you want to know something weird that I completely forgot about?
Is it? Never mind.
The bullet.
Yep, I knew it. That's what I was going to ask you.
You know where that bullet is?
Bullet? Where is the bullet?
It's in the back pocket of the evidence trousers in Dex's house. I didn't change it. I didn't put it in the new pants that I'm wearing. Right?
Uh-oh.
Right? And I was like, oh God, that's probably that's probably a serious issue. That's probably like my phylactery or something. That's my, that's got my soul in it.
You see PB writing.
It's got my soul in it, and now Laura and Reckon have got it from the evidence bag that I left behind of my bloodied clothes. Because that bag came with me to the desert, then to Dex's house. I put it down. I got my wallet and my phone on me. Got my phone wallet back. I got my phone, but the bullet is still in my pocket.
If you still had the bullet.
I think, or it's in the it might be in the pocket of my shirt.
You said you brought it with you. I asked you specifically where the bullet was. I'll go back and I'll watch it. Though. Yeah, maybe it might be in your old shirt in the back.
I think it's in my old shirt pocket. It's in one, but I remember thinking last week I was like, oh, the bullet's in the bag.
Yeah, but you don't trust Laura anyway. She's the one that told you to keep it, so you're good.
I mean, no, Lucian doesn't give a shit. He doesn't even know he has the bullet, which is the point.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have it. And I was aware of it, but I forgot to tell you. And I was like, oh, I need to tell her that I don't have the bullet on me if it's in the pocket of my old.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I can't get rid of it. It's my soul then. Okay, now I know another. Fuck. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Who else has got an item? Dex's hat, Autumn's crystal. Yeah, you're right.
The beanie.
It's a phylactery, dude.
Yeah, but I added the beanie. She didn't make me do that.
Yeah, no, but she just attached it to it. She went, oh, one of these items
to a beanie.
Is your soul.
You sound a little crazy right now, bro.
Yeah.
We've been on here a little too long.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's actually a great place to wrap up. Oh, wait. I wanted to say my favorite moment. Obviously the scariest moment for me is when I thought Dex was actually going to die, and I thought I would have to. Yeah.
That was my favorite moment.
That
Sorry.
was fucking brutal.
I picked the wrong one. That was my favorite moment. I wish he was dead.
Wow. Okay.
I hate him. He's the worst character.
He does. You do hate Dex.
I don't hate him. He reminds me of me. He reminds me of what would happen if me and you would like Dragon Ball Z merged into the same thing. Yeah. Younger versions of us.
I honestly,
or the boomer version that we are now.
I don't know what my favorite moment is so far. There's been so many good ones, but I will say I did really enjoy the preamble to the bad boob, where it was Autumn and Dex being like, who's at the door? Just the way you role played that, John, where you were kind of like up. There's one specific part that makes me laugh every single time. And she goes, do you have a peephole or something? And he goes, no, I don't have a peephole. I have a window. I could, I guess I'll check. And you just like what you're like, oh, I have a window. Okay, I'll check before she even says anything. And it just, it makes me laugh because their friendship is really, really good. I like it a lot. So. That whole and energy. Like, is there room for two in this closet? I don't know, but we're gonna get in it. Like it's so good. So yeah, that's one of my favorite moments. But yeah, so anyway, thank you for coming out and for answering all of these questions. I know Brad is paranoid about why I'm having you do this, but I think a lot of questions are going to be answered in the next couple of episodes. So I think it's really neat to kind of see what you were thinking before we have those answers. So that's kind of why.
Cthulhu demon.
That's kind of why we're here today answering those questions. Yeah, it's a Cthulhu demon, yes. But yeah, and let's do some shout outs. I know we're going to be here again tomorromore, but...
It makes the most sense.
This is the least taxed I've been after an episode.
Yay.
No, I'm not. I'm more stressed out because I didn't get to hide behind a character throughout the entire thing. I had to just sit here and think.
And be you, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the most uncomfortable positions for me to ever be in. Except for, I'm not going to make the joke.
Go on, Brad. Go on. Shout yourself out. Where can people find you?
Okay. I thought you meant make the joke.
No,
That's the joke. You can't do that once
No.
it's half made. No, I mean, I'm just, I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow. You can watch my.
Or today, he's gonna stream right after this, right?
By now, I guess,
Right
yeah.
now.
I'm gonna go and finish a boss battle. It might take 5 minutes. It might take 5 hours. I'm playing Dragon Age Origins for the first time on my channel, which has been fun. I've been playing through game series that I've never played through before. We did Mass Effect. I did Metal Gear Solid at the beginning of the year, and that's what inspired me to do whole series. And there's all these game series that everyone's obsessed with from years and years ago, like Silent Hill from PB's suggestion, like the Zelda games from Elspeth's suggestion, like Devil May Cry, and like the Rocket League series from John Sandman.
Don't lie to me, man. You ever play Rocket League, I'll freak out.
I like Rocket League. I used to play the original one on the PS3 before they made the new.
Oh, the super acrobatic battle card.
OG Rocket League. Yeah, I used to play that.
You are OG.
And that's it. I don't know what to tell you. You can watch my D&D if you want, but
yes, it's very good.
There's just no point. It pales compared to.
Stop. What is wrong
doing
with
a mini gon.
It's different. People have to understand. Doing D&D, like, I can't even explain it to people because I'm like, I always want to say like this is the most insane show I've ever been, and I'm like, man, Fractured Worlds was real. Like it's a different world. That's D&D. This shouldn't even be called D&D. I'm gonna be honest.
Yep.
We need to rebrand the name of this. This is like
I've been struggling with how to explain it to people because there are a lot of people who watched it because of the clip that we put on Twitter, and they're like, I don't normally watch D&D. This doesn't strike me as D&D. This is like a collaborative TV show or something.
I would call it just, I guess, like role play, but like then role play also puts like a weird.
Yeah, I feel like I do really feel like it's collaborative storytelling. It's improv storytelling, like an improv TV show is what it feels like to me. But I don't really know how to describe it.
I would call it. It's tough. Definitely.
The tabletop part of the RPG is dialed back a lot.
Yes.
The dice rolling and the the board gamey aspect that you might get from D&D.
Yeah.
Miniatures on a thing with a thing to fight and HP levels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So different.
Yeah.
I love this role.
Fun though.
Oh, speaking of which, I have to announce the winner of the giveaway because we drew for that. Yay.
Oh.
Hold on. I put it in a little folder here. Now we are going to be giving away 2 more copies of this. But just so everybody knows, we had Dissolutions 69, nice, win. And that's like, if you are here or watching, I will announce it again tomorrow and we will shoot out an email. But we did, that was entry number 2,662. So what the fuck, y'all? What the fuck? Yeah. So congratulations.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's from Elspeth.
I was wondering.
I'm like, it sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, because the entry that won was a Twitch following. They followed Tablestory on Twitch. And so I went to check to make sure they weren't a bot. And I saw that they had followed you and John and then Brad and then Tablestory. They don't follow me, sadly. Cry.
Yet.
Oh my God, come on.
Okay, all right.
Laugh is so evil.
It's a joke for Brad.
Oh, I needed that to wake up for this boss fight. That has nourished me more than any caffeine.
So evil, dude. I love it.
All right, but yeah, that's it. So congrats on that. We will be giving away. We're going to take a week off of doing a giveaway, and then we'll open the next one on episode 6, right? So not this week, but next week we'll start the next one. We're gonna give away 3 copies.
How much is a copy of this? How much is like a copy of the book?
Mine was I think $30. I think.
So good. That's so cool.
It's. Hold on, I'm looking right now. You can find it on Modifius, by the way, for those wondering how to get your own copy. It's $39.99. I don't know what that is in US dollars.
Oh, it's like $5.
US dollars. So it's $50 US.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
40. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't know what that is actually Canadian either. Hold on. So it's like $70 Canadian.
Jar of
I was totally unaware of how much that cost when I bought it. I was like, this looks beautiful. I think it's the one I want. Bam, and I bought it.
This is like a full...
It's so good. It's definitely not the last thing I will play in this world. Like, if you guys happen to take the path on the left and go straight towards endgame, I will GM something else in here. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, that's it. That's all I gotta say about that.
I don't even know what you mean by that, but
yep. Well, okay. So I think that was it, right? Yes, and I'm PB, and you can find me at Pumpkinberry. That's it. We did all of our shout outs, right? Did I miss anyone?
Yeah.
Speth, did you do one?
Elspeth.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Speth, go.
Hi, I'm Elspeth. You can find me at twitch.tv/Elspeth.
See you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's so nice to say.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow. So that's a +2 for Dex, +1 for Autumn, and a +3 for Lucian.